Hey yo, what's going on guys, it's Stupid Player NegativeAE, and welcome back to Stiens Gate. Last we left off, we learned that Kurisu may or may not be a traitor. I really want her just to be kicked out of the lab until we find out whether she is or not. We did not talk to Moeka, which is something that I kind of regret. Like, I think that we should have talked to Moeka. Not that we had a choice, right? Like, the story was just there. So, let's continue on. She's a true scientist, no doubt about it. It's a dream, right? Isn't it? To invent the time machine? Our dream. I never really thought about it that way. But she's right. My hands are shaking. I think my dream is like to spread evil across the world, isn't it? Not from the fear of Mr. Braun, but from excitement. I will become the undisputed Lord of Time. With that power, I will shatter the system and the chaos will rule the... Okabe. Kurisu interrupts my speech. I wasn't asking Hoyin Kyoma, I was asking Okabe. Dots. She spears me with her gaze. I meet it head on. After a few moments, I feel my mouth curve into a smile. I'll do it. Leave it to me. With that, I head downstairs. A cracked skull and an empty wallet are a small price to pay for science. Kurisu and Daru send me off with applause for some reason. Mayori's the only one who looks worried, but I pat her head in reassurance. So we're getting sent down so we can do the experiments again. I don't think that we should be working with what's her name anymore, Kurisu? Like, let's stop working with her. Just in case she is evil, be like, hey Kurisu, go take a break. We'll handle this from now on. Even though you're the one that did it, we'll try and figure things out for a while. If she's gonna take all the credit for the time machine, then she's evil. When I get When I get downstairs, Suzuha and Chipmunk are sitting side by side on the bench outside. Sup? Dots. Nate gives me a quick bow, then hides behind Suzuha. That shaking upstairs put the boss in a bad mood. Nay and I are waiting it out. Damn, now I really don't want to go in there. Are you okay? Dad hit you pretty hard. I'll have you know that my brain is more valuable than the Mona Lisa. Your father may have set humanity back 100 years by wiping out my brain cells. Such a regrettable loss. Suzuha clasps her hands in a solemn prayer. I'm not dead, just my brain cells. I'm sorry. Daddy did something bad. Chipmunk, what a gentle heart you have. I can't believe she's Mr. Braun's daughter. I suppose I share some of the blame. Your father and I are even. Nay smiles slightly at the words of comfort. Now then, part-time warrior, I have a request of you. I need you to distract Mr. Braun for about 5 seconds. Suzuha's eyes start to shine. You mean seduce him? What? She flexes her bicep for some reason. Go on, touch it. She insists, so I poke it. It's just as hard as her confidence suggests. She's probably stronger than me. But I don't understand what flexing has to do with seduction. Nobody said anything about seduction. It doesn't matter how you do it. I'm not much of a warrior if I can't handle that. Besides, you said you'd help me search for my father, right? I'm only returning the favor. I see. Then I leave it in your capable hands. Suzuha, don't be mean to Daddy, okay? Don't worry, I won't be mean. Indeed. I want to complain that he's the one being mean, but I just said we're even, so I refrain. Wait here, Nay. Chipmunk nods. I like that we just call her Chipmunk now. Lukaka, what do you got? You and Mayori-chan don't go places together. You're both in the... What was the last message I sent to him? Mayuri-chan, and then I said something back, and then it said, you, and let's just check, because I'm going to be really confused. Outbox to Lukaku, whom I don't know Mayuri's plans, but I'm pretty sure she's busy preparing for a different, okay. She's just busy preparing for stuff. And then you say, you and Mayuri-chan don't go places together? You're both lab members, and I heard you were childhood friends, so I thought, I'm sorry if I misunderstood. I did 30 practice swings with the Samidari. Wow, you're just practicing like crazy. Now that you're like a girl, you're just practicing with the Samidari all the time? When we entered the store, we found Mr. Braun cleaning the pieces of a broken CRT. When our eyes meet, another vein pops on his forehead. If you came to apologize, I'll listen. But your rent's going up. Understand? I'm sorry about what happened. I overreacted. As a token of my apology, my lab's representative, Amane Suzuha, would like to present you with a gift. Boss, get ready. With a vigorous shout, which in no way seems appropriate for seduction, Suzuha whips off her jacket. What? Yeah! What is happening? Yeah. And throws it into Mr. Braun's face. I can see your bra. Whoa. This just took a turn that I did not expect this to take. No, wait, that's not a bra, but a tight tank top that reveals her midriff bare. Yet Suzuha shows no sign of embarrassment as she rushes Mr. Braun. What? She slips behind him, grabs her coat, and pulls it tight against his face. Now's your chance. Now wait just a second. Is this your idea of seduction? It looks like you're trying to suffocate him. Hurry! Mr. Braun flails his arms, trying to escape Suzuha's restraint. What is going on? There's a huge difference in strength between the two. It's only a matter of time before he shakes Suzuha off. Well done, warrior. Your heroism will be remembered. Realizing that the only choice is to go for it, I dash to the counter, grab the remote, and switch on the 42-inch CRT. After about 2 seconds, an image appears on the giant screen. At the same time, the ceiling starts shaking. Kurisu activated the phone wave to himself to change with perfect timing. It's shaking again. Okabe, what's going on? Did she really take off her clothes without knowing why? You're a lifesaver, part-time warrior. If you can, keep him restrained for 10 more seconds. During that time, I escaped from the store. Outside, Nate's following the earthquake drill procedure, crouching while protecting her head. I ignore that and look up to the second floor. At exactly the same time, Kurisu appears in the window and gives me a happy thumbs up. But a second later, she blushes, shoots me a glare, and then disappears inside as if nothing happened. What's with her attitude? I'm risking my life here. She blushed. She blushes, shoots me a glare, and then, oh. The F was she blushing for? The 42-inch CRT was the key, as I suspected. Now, how do I explain this to Mr. Braun? I don't want him to kick us out of the building. Perhaps I shouldn't have left it to Suzuha. I timidly peek into the store to gauge the situation. Come on, boss. Give me back my jacket. Suzuha's there, fidgeting in her tank top as Mr. Braun glares down at her. Shut up. I'm confiscating this. You pervert. You're the pervert, throwing your shirt in my face like that. Some kind of dance. Oh, like some kind of dancer. That was pretty kinky. Gotta remember to thank Okabe after I kill him. Kinky? Don't say things like that. It's gross. Anyway, you can work like that for the rest of the day. Go stand up front and use that flat tummy of yours to attract customers. I'll tell Nay on you. Who's she gonna believe? You or her old man? No problems here. Suzuha's seduction strategy worked, I guess. Mr. Braun, what a guy. A little while later, I'm lying on the sofa watching high school baseball. What was that noise? Kumato and Achi are locked in a fierce struggle for the playoffs. Just then, a clack of the sewing machine. Oh, sewing machine. The launch suddenly stops. Okarin, can you come here? She motions to me while holding the costume. What does she want? I walk over to her. Can you hold this for me? Spread it out, like flop. Mayushi, say flop again. What the it's always this with you, dude. I got a flop. Stop it already, perv. I follow Mayori's directions and spread the costume out by the sleeves. She inspects it from a few paces away. It's hard to believe, given her usual ditziness, but Mayori seems very serious about her art. That's why cosplayers value her costume so highly. The costume I'm holding right now is custom made for Lukaku. I thought Lukaku was against it, but I guess Mayori managed to persuade her. Okay, thanks. Mayori looks tired. She's been working all night, but that doesn't dim the brightness of her satisfied smile. Finished. It's done? Yep. I finished before Christian. We were racing. You win, Mayori. Congratulations. Damn you, assistant. She treats me and Daru like garbage, but Mayori gets the sisterly touch. Actually, I'm just about finished too. Kurisu connects the two cords she's holding. Done. Celebration is in order. But nobody cheers. Oh no, it froze. Oh, there we go. It's a tie. Man, I'm tired. I want Ferris-chan to come for me. Honestly, I don't feel like cheering either. And it's not because I'm tired. We worked around the clock for 3 straight days to finish the time loop machine, but now that it is complete, I realized that part of me never truly believed that it would happen. I feel my enthusiasm cooling rapidly, the fire quenched by one stark question. What do we do with it? I look at Kurisu. She too seems less than enthused. We may have created a monster here. I look at the improved phone wave named Subject to Change again. The biggest change is the headgear attached to the X6800 or 1000. It looks like something out of a low-budget cyberpunk movie. Unfortunately, we don't need nerve jacks or brain chips for it to work. Or fortunately, you just put it on and let the sensors do the rest. Why don't we decide what to call it first? I vote Heavenly Express. Phone Wave 3rd edition version 1.0. Silly hat Phone Wave-chan. No consensus. You guys have too much free time. Does that mean you're abstaining from the vote? Time Leap Machine is dumb. Time Leap Machine is dumb and you should feel dumb. Yes, that's terrible. Come on, the simple is better. No. That's what Okabe has been calling it for the past 2 days. Looks like my assistant has zero naming sense. I don't want to hear that from a Chunibyo head case like you. Oh, so Makishi knows the word Chunibyo. I sense your otaku level is quite high. I heard it from a friend. I have no idea where it comes from. Ha! A bald-faced lie. She should just confess to being an art chandler. Kurusu meets my grin with an icy glare. It's up to you, Mayuri. Choose one. Whenever the lab is divided on a name, the right to decide belongs to Mayuri. I think time loop machine is fine. No, it's dumb. Silly hat phone wave chan is super close though. Somehow I need you to say that. Like I said, simple is best. Mayuri gets it. Mayuri. I want to object, but it's an unwritten rule not to complain once Mayuri's made a decision. Very well. Time loop machine it is. Assistant, explain for us all how the time loop machine works. I know the basics, but I want to hear the details. Kurusu nods and stands in front of the whiteboard. Okay, plot, here we go. In short, this device converts memories to data and then sends them to the past. Okay. Let's begin with what we all know. By frequent coincidence, the phone wave is able to produce ring singularities, which is much like John Taitor's time machine. Through the ring singularity, we are able to send up to 36 bytes of data to the past. The signal can only be received by phones. While that does limit the range of effect, it also removes an element of uncertainty from the equation. Unlike D-mails, memory data is sent in the form of a phone call, so we will be using a phone number, not an email address, to set the destination. The ring singularity is made naked and stable by a device known as a lifter. In our case, that's the 42-inch CRT downstairs. She explained the basics. Next, she'll explain the modifications she made to turn the phone wave named such a change into a time loop machine. Me on August 13th. What is this? Tuolo? I like this face. I'm gonna use this face every day of my life. The phone wave now has headgear attached. The headgear records the nerve impulses in the temporal lobe of the brain, specifically the CA3 region of the hippocampus, where the memories are stored. Hippo. Then, using VR technology, we encode the nerve impulses into electrical signal data. It comes out to approximately 3.24 terabytes. 3.24 terabytes. That's less than I expected. We're talking about the entirety of a person's memories. By the way, we'll set it up so that the data encodes automatically after a certain amount of time. Anybody well versed in programming can do this. I had Hashida make the code. Hold on, I gotta freaking read this again. Decodes automatically after certain. Okay, it lets encode these nerves into electrical signal data. Anyway, next we send the memory through the LHC in France. This building has a direct line to CERN for some reason, so we can transfer data at insanely high speeds. How long does it take to send 3.24 terabytes of data? We have 64 direct lines in parallel, so if we send it in 64 parts, it should upload in about 45 seconds. That's pretty fast. Next, we hijack the LHC and create a mini black hole and use that black hole's supergravity to compress the data into 36 bytes. 3 terabytes is about 3 trillion bytes. Compressing that into just 36 bytes, that's one hell of a squeeze. Will the compression take long? It's practically instantaneous. 23 milliseconds or thereabouts. We're using a black hole after all. By the way, compression only holds in the immediate vicinity of the black hole. Once the data leaves that area, it'll begin to decompress on its own. This too takes about 23 milliseconds. It has to make it back to the X68000 and into the phone wave within that window. It's only 36 bytes. Shouldn't be a problem. Continue, Christina. While the data is being compressed, we use the phone wave to generate a Kerr ring singularity. When the electron discharge phenomenon occurs, we'll take the 36-byte data, patch it in, and send it to the past. This part is just like a D-mail. The data travels to the specific time where it arrives on the recipient's phone. Okay, now here's where I'm confused. Please explain this to me. By now, 23 milliseconds should have passed, so the data will be fully decompressed. Next, the encoding program runs, converting the data back into nerve impulse signals. These signals are discharged from the phone's earpiece at approximately 0.02 amperes, a pretty weak charge. If the recipient has the phone to his ear, this should go straight into his brain, assuming he answers his phone. If he doesn't, the transfer fails. Unfortunately, we lose nothing but that copy of the memory data. Why a phone call instead of an email? Also, we should be checking on Ferris. Ferris was feeling sick. Because we need the recipient. Why phone instead of an email? Put the phone to his ear, otherwise the signals won't reach his temporal lobe. She indicates the side of her head. In this area, you have the frontal and temporal lobe of the brain. As I explained before, the hippocampus, where the memories are stored, is inside the temporal lobe. The phone sends out the electrical impulses that pass through the temporal lobe into the hippocampus, overriding the recipient's memories. At the same time, the phone sends impulses that simulate the frontal lobe as well. This is important. Remember that the frontal lobe is responsible for sending retrieval signals to the temporal lobe. This is how you remember things. By stimulating the frontal lobe, or frontal lobe, frontal lobe in a new memory data. Thus, the recipient recalls all of those memories as if they were his own, which of course they are or will be in the future. This happens in less than a second. Now the recipient has the same memories as the sender. The time leap is complete. If the data came from 1 week in the future, the recipient will remember that week as if he experienced it firsthand. We will need to be aware that consciousness and personality aren't transferred. Both of those depend on the recipient. Explain it with boobs. Is that something you can do? Can you just say that to somebody and be like, hey, can you explain that with boobs? And then like someone can explain it? Like I can't explain anything with boobs. I can explain maybe circles. Kudasu dissolves into blushing the stammering mess. Looks like she's about to. It's up to me to answer Daru's question. Not with boobs, obviously. Let's say we send your memories to you in grade school. Right now, you're some kind of omnisexual pervert who thinks inanimate objects are hot. But in elementary school, you're still an innocent child. I was a boring little bastard who did nothing but study. What of it? Basically, that little bastard would suddenly have all of your perverted memories, but his personality would not change. It's not like you'll become that famous anime detective with the looks of a child and the brains of an adult. What? That sucks. Yeah, so you just have memories. You wouldn't have the same like way of thinking. Got it. This isn't like the time leaping you see in sci-fi novels. We aren't capable of transferring personality and consciousness. Since you need a phone to receive the signal, you can only send memories to the times you had one. You also need to make sure that the sender and recipient are the same person. If someone beside your past self, your parents, or a friend for instance, answers the phone, then the nerve impulses will be projected into their brain instead. If that happens, your memories could overwrite theirs, which could obviously cause serious damage to their psyche. That's interesting. Kurisu ends her explanation and takes a short breath. Wait. Like, Kurisu seemed pretty messed up in the psych. Oh, I don't know. This is too big. I was trying to draw the line between Kurisu and that statement where, like, if you transfer your memories to someone else, I don't know, though. I don't know. That's just a theory that I have that could be why she's going crazy. I look at Mayuri, but her expression is blank. I guess it was too complicated for her. So, I clear my throat. It's time for the million-dollar question. What do we do with it? Do with what? The time leap machine, of course. What do we do with it? Dots. For once, my assistant has nothing to say. I already know that she fears we've created a monster, and honestly I feel the same way. After a few moments, Kurisu finally speaks. It's too much for us to handle, that's for sure. The safest thing to do would be to hand it over to the government and for professional research. I can tell that she's not pleased to have researched this to reach this conclusion. She obviously would prefer to experiment with this technology. After all, it's humanity's first time machine. We've finally taken our first steps towards godhood. I'm sure that the nations of the world would pay billions just for one look at our time machine. The possibilities that it represents are timeless. It just doesn't feel real. Mayushi doesn't get it. That's because you didn't work on it, Mayushi. Oh, right. What about you, Okabe? I mean, you, not Hoin Kyoma. I agree with Kurisu that the time loop machine is dangerous. On the other hand, I want to experiment. I state my honest feelings. Kurisu gasps. But there are still questions we need to answer. This is unknown to territory, not just for us, but for all of humanity. Who will time leap? I look to each of the lab members in turn. Daru quickly looks away. Mayuri's expression is blank. Kurisu stares right back at me. It's hard to choose. I'll pass. Not a single person here wants the honor of being history's first time traveler. Everyone, except for Mayuri, is probably thinking about what could go wrong. What if the time leap were to fail? What was that? It's not. Was that a CERN article? Was that the CERN article? Can I go back to see? Can I go back to see the? It's not the possibility of becoming jealous. I didn't catch it. It's probably a CERN article. Machine sends data, not the real thing. Don't let your preconceptions influence your decision. You might say it's like a cut and paste of your brain. Actually, it's more like a copy paste, and it's just your memories. The original doesn't get erased. It's a very easy to understand example, but that's not the problem. Time flows in a straight line from past, present, to future. At least that's how most humans see it. This raises several questions. What if there's an error somewhere, and the data itself gets fractalized? Let's say I send my memories an hour into the past. My memories would be replaced by fractalized data. In other words, my data is full of tiny holes. Couldn't that cause memory loss? I suppose. 1 hour later, we arrive at the present. At the same time, the me who lost his memories an hour ago and the current me conflict in my brain. Which data set survives? Logically, the present should change as soon as you send your memories to the past. The conflicting current me disappears then. So that's not a copy-paste at all, is it? I don't know. No one's ever experienced time travel before. When we send a Gmail, the world is reconstructed based on how we made the change we made to the past. I'm the only one who's aware of this, however. We don't know what happens when you time leap. If it's the many worlds interpretation, like Taitor said, then the instant you time leap, it creates two possibilities. One where you shift to another world line, and one where you travel back in time on the same world line. Of course, there must also be a world line where the current you does disappear, and that would likely correspond to the present that we are experiencing right now. Question marks. But that's only if the many worlds interpretation holds in the first place. I thought you didn't believe what Taitor had to say. I'm talking hypothetically. Taitor doesn't matter right now. If it's the Copenhagen interpretation, then every possible state propagates through space as a wave function. When a particular state is observed, the remaining states collapse and the state is fixed. Alright, let's look at what this is. Wave function in quantum theory, a function representing a quantum state. Not sure if wave functions represent reality or convenient mathematical abstraction. Oh wow. Man, Schrodinger's cat, huh? All the time. But precise observation is impossible. The problem who the observer is in this case. Wouldn't it be a third party, like me or Mayushi? Not necessarily. It might be me. It might be someone else. It could even be God. To begin with, the Copenhagen interpretation and the many worlds interpretation are both microscale theories used to explain quantum interactions. No one knows whether they can be applied to humans or to the world at large. What about my personal experiences with reading Steiner? If reading Steiner is the sort of power I think it is, then the world line model is correct. In the end, we arrive at the question of where is the self? This time loop machine only sends memories. That I can guarantee. Won't the present be reconstructed at the moment of transfer? That's what happens with Okaning's reading Steiner, right? That makes sense where Gmails are concerned, but when we send a Gmail, we're obviously interfering in past events. But time looping is different. All you do is send your memories to the past, which isn't the same thing as sending a targeted email. Whether the me who suddenly remembers 1 hour into the future will in fact change the past is something we can't know until it happens. I'm getting confused. It sounds like we're talking about the soul. Isn't that a religious question? Wait, you guys are misunderstanding something. 1 hour is enough time for your personality to change. You should be the same person 1 hour ago that you are now. The only difference is that you'll have an extra hour's worth of memories. How can you be sure? Dots. Well, I can't. Nobody's tried it before. The discussion is going nowhere. Personality and consciousness can't be strictly defined, so it's hard to imagine what might happen. So, which is it? We don't know. We can argue all the theories we want, but in the end we can only guess. The experiment may end up shattering preconceptions scientists and philosophers have held for centuries. We don't know until we try, and that pretty much sums it up. To make matters worse, the subject must be prepared to risk damage to their psyche. Kurisu, Daru, and I say no more. We can't solve this problem. This is our limit as scientists. But haven't we accomplished enough already? The time loop machine itself is worthy of a Nobel Prize. We could sell this technology for billions if we so choose. And if we go public with the time loop machine, we can break CERN's monopoly on the time travel technology. That's enough. It has to be. No, because the CERN will just kill us. I think that's what happened to Dr. Nakabashi. Is CERN just like, you know what? Fuck it. We reconstructed the timeline to where we kill him. Right? Like that's what happened to Dr. Nakabashi. Mayuri, who has been observing the discussion with glassy eyes, opens her mouth to speak. I have an idea. Why don't we make a banana time loop instead? Oh, Mayuri. Bananas don't have brains like people do. Oh, you need a brain, huh? Mayuri never changes. The atmosphere in the room gets a little more relaxed. Let's not experiment. We'll entrust the time loop machine to a suitable research institution. Then we'll announce it to the world. Thanks to the lightening of the mood, I can finally say it was on my mind. Neither Kurisu nor Daru objects. No one has touched the time loop machine since that discussion. Ridiculous as it sounds, I can't shake the feeling that it might suck my memories out and fling them into the past. Oh. The time machine does have its appeal, or the machine does have its appeal, of course. We're all tempted by the idea of becoming humanity's first time leapers. Yet, the fear of what could happen won out in the end. Perhaps a way to forget our fears and move on. We decide to hold a celebration to mark the completion of this device. Everyone feels the need to let loose after working so hard on the project. Oh, this is interesting. It's like no longer, I don't know. I have Daru order a pizza while Kurisu and I go shopping for snacks. Akiba has always had a lack of supermarkets. That hasn't changed even with the anime stores gone. After we finish shopping, Kurisu and I walk along the evening streets. Alright. At that, I'm going to end the episode right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, make sure you hit that like button. I really appreciate it. And subscribe if you feel necessary. I don't know really what we're doing. We invented a time machine, kind of, but we're not going to use it. We're going to get money off of it, I believe, is what the plan is. Like give it up to a research institution and make a little bit of money. Call it a day. Right? We would need like a CRT with us, so we'd need to buy like that 42-inch CRT, which would be weird. Anyway, I'm gonna end the episode here. Thank you guys, and see you guys in the next episode. Peace.